Okay, before we expand out the brackets, I'm just going to quickly remind you how to use the grid method. So if we were doing 5, let's say 5 times 17. Some of you'd want to reach for a calculator, but if it wasn't a non-calculator paper, you would do 5 lots and then you'd break 17 up into 10 plus 7. So 10 and 7. So see how the brackets, it's technically 5 lots of 10 plus 7, the brackets is on the outside, so then obviously you do the calculation, 5 tens are 50 and 5 sevens are 35. You then add them up and get 85. Now that's just normal grid method. Now if we had to do algebra and expanding, that's like saying 5 lots of x plus a number, let's say plus 3. Now in this case we lay the grid just like we did for number, because what works for number works with algebra. This time we've got 5 lots of x plus 3. Now if you look above, the 10 and the 7 stay together in the grid, so the x and the 3 go on the same side for a grid. You then multiply the brackets out, so 5 times x is going to give you 5x, and 5 times 3 is 15. Then you take your answer from the grid, and it's 5x plus 15. And remember, they stay separate because you cannot collect the number with the letters. Letters can only go with the other same letters, and numbers can only be collected with other numbers. We'll do another example. Okay, so let's have a look at one with negatives. So say we've got to do 3 lots of x minus 8. Goes into the grid. Remember, it's a times grid. 3 lots of x minus 8. 3 times x is 3x, and 3 times negative 8 is negative 24. And remember, if this is on a calculator paper, don't use your brain, use the calculator. Take your answer out, 3x minus 24. And just one final one, you could have a question like 2x and then brackets 3x plus 7. In this case you still lay it out in the same grid. The 2x is on the outside and the 3x plus 7 is together. You then ask yourself, what is 2x times 3x? If it was just 2x times 3, we'd know that would be 6x. But remember, if you times an x by an x, you get an x squared. So 2x times 3x is going to give you 6x squared. Then your final one, 2x times 7. Well, 7 2s are 14, and then we need to times by x, so 14x. Your final answer when you take it out of the grid is 6x squared plus 14x. And again, the x's cannot go together because they have to have the same power. So 6x squared could only be collected with other x squareds, and there aren't none. And then the 14x has to stand its own because there are no other x's.